Welcome from my side to my speech today about Bitcoin mining, energy and the infrastructure for that. So I'm hoping to give you some insights and useful information about the worldwide Bitcoin mining industry and how the Bitkern Group is succeeding or doing well since 2017. I've got four topics for you. This is a short introduction about Bitkern and myself. And the most common question, how many miners are out there worldwide? And where are they based? And why are they based there? And a little outlook of the whole mining branch and my own opinion on that. So let us talk about the Bitkern Group, which was founded from some Austrian guys and which is now a Swiss-based company. They are doing mining since 2017 and they are almost the number one all-in-one service provider for hardware selling and hosting in the middle of Europe. And you know that energy price here is very important. So they are offering services up from $4.5 US cents per kilowatt, which is very, very cheap. They have worldwide data centers, so mining locations, more than 18, and they are hosting more than 85,000 miners for their clients in the whole world. And yeah, that is the short introduction for Bitkern. And as you can see here, the whole data centers are consuming around about 750 to 800 megawatt. To my personal thing, I'm hoping to connect. My favorite platform is LinkedIn, where also the mining industry and all the great guys are on there for business. And I'm in Bitcoin since 2016, but I left behind the topic of mining since I discovered it new since the last 2 years. And I'm working as a mining expert, and I'm a member of the sales team of the Bitkern Group, and I have my own finance blog, which is called Geld, with the main topics of Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining. And so we have a complete partnership with Bitkern and Geld, and I'm doing that since almost 1.5 years. So, how many miners are there out there? And you know this guy here? I have something that called from Bitmain, which is the world's most famous mining manufacturer. This is an S90K Pro with 120 terahash. And the guy here, you can see this is a mining facility in Austria from a water power station. So a hydropower station, a small one. The picture is a little bit older, so I think 5 to 6 years, because he was mining Ether and Bitcoin. And you know, Ethereum is not mining, he's not using the proof of work concept anymore. But the Bitcoin miners, they are doing well and they have a great succeed. You can succeed in the Bitcoin mining if you have cheap energy. So that is the thing we're looking for as a mining branch. So it is a worldwide branch, and this branch is very flexible. To put in a shipping container next to your hydropower station is not a big thing. And I've brought 2 different types of stories to you to show you what impact Bitcoin mining can do also here in the DACH region, or especially for Austria, because we have a lot of hydro power stations here. And approximately how many miners are out there? So you have the total hash rate of the Bitcoin network out there, and then you can calculate, because nobody knows. If you divide it at approximately 200 terahash per machine, you maybe come out with 14 to 15 million of these kind of miners out there in different locations which are really big, which have 500,000 of these miners running, and single locations maybe at your home with just one miner. So it's completely different. And the next thing is many people and scientists try to locate where are the miners. And this is a very complicated thing. Because now in this world map you can see where is the most hash rate is in the United States. So some people say 38 to 40% of the total hash rate comes from the United States. But are the miners really in the United States? That's the thing, nobody knows exactly. You can just guess and make some common sense about the data. Yeah? And then you see Russia and China, which also have a huge impact on the hash rate. Yeah? Even in China, if there is a mining ban or no mining ban, nobody knows exactly. And the industry is there where the energy is cheap. So this map shows you around the location, like here the industrial electricity price. And you see here the United States and also Russia and China, they are around 6 to 7 US dollars per kilowatt hour. Huh? And we as Bitkern, we have 18 different locations. We are searching for a megawatt price around 40 to 50 dollars. Huh? So we are going to energy provider who have surplus energy, wasted energy, and put our miners there. Huh? Rebuild a location next to the power station, and try to run our units for energy as cheap as possible. And USA is the number one country I just mentioned, and these are the new mining stations there, especially in Texas. Huge mining locations, because the whole state of Texas is transforming from an oil industry into renewable energy. And the Bitkern mining branch, they are benefiting from this changing, and they are helping the whole industry because they bring in liquidity for the energy provider. So, and now I tell you the most interesting story in my opinion, and the Bitcoin mining story of the decade. Maybe somebody knows this guy here. He's not a small guy, he's the king of Bhutan. I just scribbled out here the map. So this is the kingdom of Bhutan, which is between Tibet and India, the Republic of India. So a relatively small country. And this king, which name is Igme Jeza Namge Mr. Wangchuk. And he decided to do some special things with his country. And there is a huge impact of the country of Austria. So Austria decided in the 1980s and 1990 for their development aid to help Bhutan to build up their hydro energy stations, because Bhutan has two big resources. The one resource is they have water, the other resource they have forests. They are the only country in the world who has a positive CO2 footprint, because they reduce more CO2 than they emit. And with also millions of this development aid, there are very good articles in the Austrian Foreign Ministry and the developing aid, and Austria was a key player to bring in know-how and also liquidity in the 1980s and 1990s to Bhutan to rebuild such hydropower stations. And it worked. And since nobody knows it exactly, but this king decided, okay, we have now this cheap hydro energy. What can we do with this energy? And they decided in 3 steps. The first step is, I want to provide the whole country with cheap energy. So my citizens of my country first, they get cheap energy. Whenever they need energy, they get the energy. The second step was, if there was any surplus from the first step, we will sell our energy to our neighbor, to the Republic of India or to Tibet, anybody who wants to have our energy. And in the third step, every energy who was left after the 2 steps, we put this energy into Bitcoin mining. So, and look what happened. Nobody knows before. Since last year, this history was just discovered. And we are sitting on 12,000 Bitcoin now, which is worth over $1 billion, and which is made around about 40% of the GDP of the Kingdom of Bhutan. So, what can tell us this example? It could be a perfect blueprint for doing the same exactly thing with the 3 steps also here in Austria, or also here in the middle of Europe. We have enough surplus energy, and the system and the problems with the surplus energies are growing exponentially with the grid, with the overflow. So we have many problems, and Bitcoin mining could be a solution for that problem, and we will receive also liquidity from that. So think about it, because maybe Bhutan should help Austria now back for these 3 steps. So, continue. And at last, now outlook for the Bitcoin mining project, as I mentioned before, I think to monetize your own energy within Bitcoin mining, this is very possible, and you can reuse your wasted or surplus energy into heat, which is here, which is in my office. It's a Bitcoin heater, so you can mine Bitcoin and heat your own office, or heat your own your home today. And with the solar energy, or here with the energy, so that you can't or do not waste your energy. And we're facing so many problems here in Europe, the regulatory problems, the tax problems, and so on. But the innovations are far behind. This is a picture from the Bitcoin mining conference, which was this year in May. We were there with the Bitkern Group. And we had such a thing with the heat pump here, in combination with the Bitcoin miners, which are water cooled. And they heat up this tank of water unto 70 degrees. And 70 degrees, that's really a huge number. You can do many things with hot water of 70 degrees. Especially for heating whole complex, whole real estate, or other things. And if you go to these things as an innovation, you can solve a lot of problems here. The first problem is that we have renewable energy producers like wind farms who get paid for the taxpayers' money just not to produce energy, because in times when there's windy, we have too much energy, nobody can use the energy, we cannot store the energy, and the taxpayer is paying the wind energy to shut off. So that is a problem Bhutan has solved. Because if there are 5 turbines in the hydropower station, and you have to shut off at least 4 of them because nobody has needs the energy, for example, at lunchtime, why not running the whole 5 turbines and put the energy for 6, 8, 10 hours a day into Bitcoin mining? Bhutan has done this thing, and they have succeeded. And there's also the next taxpayer. You have to pay if you are filling your surplus energy back to the grid, back to the public. You have to pay a fine, which is coming in the Austrian law. And many more things which we have done the last 20 years here in Austria, especially also in Germany, where you have this 20-year period of time where you have a guaranteed fixed rate for your energy. And these are all biogas, so this is all things could be with Bitcoin mining come to a solution. I don't think that every infrastructure would be perfect fit for Bitcoin mining. But I think if you use the whole innovation spectrum of Bitcoin mining, you can find different income streams, not even liquidity by the energy, also liquidity maybe by reusing the heat. And I think in the next 2 to 5 years, here in the middle of Europe, or everywhere around the world where there is surplus energy, we will find such solutions, because in my opinion, Bitcoin mining is a perfect bridge to help us go to renewable energy at a higher scale than we are now. So that is my opinion about the outlook of the Bitcoin branch, and thank you for your attention. Any questions?
Great presentation. I totally agree with the premise and the thesis and everything. I guess in my mind, where I imagine a barrier to adoption, especially here in Europe, might be is that, yes, the operating expense is effectively free with excess energy, but the capital for the miners themselves, there's still that mentality that we need to have a return on that invested capital. And in order to get the optimal return, the Bitcoin that's mined should be held and not sold to pay off the CapEx. So what are your thoughts on kind of getting that mind shift change with the stakeholders here in Europe about holding the Bitcoin instead of selling it to pay off the...
Yes, hot topic, because it depends on the stakeholder, you know. If there is an energy provider who still believes Bitcoin is a bad thing, or Bitcoin is for criminals, or Bitcoin is for the dark web, it's hard to have such a discussion. Otherwise, other stakeholders come into this field and they know how flexible is Bitcoin to use. Because you can immediately, when you receive your mining reward, you can immediately change it to swap it into a stable coin or into euro. So you don't have this currency risk. You don't have to take it. Okay, I'm a Bitcoiner, I will take it seriously and take it for the next 5 to 10 years, but you don't have to. This is also a thing, because in mining, your mined coins don't have such like KYC or something like that. You decide when you put every paper open to maybe re-exchange your Bitcoin into euros, but you don't have to. If you're not, it's like if you don't have foreign capital or something like that, or interest to pay or something like that. So with Bitcoin, you're very, very flexible. I'm calculating on a weekly basis really good projects. Not every project fit in, because you know the hours to run per day these machines is the economical break-even. So normally if you have only 6 to 8 hours per day, then it depends how cheap you can buy the hardware. And there are also some solutions. Buy used miners, for example, in huge, let me say some 1,000 miners, used miners. So there are possibilities there. Most of the thing I'm trying to convince the stakeholders just to a pilot project. Make a tiny pilot project so that you can see that everything is working. And we're moving forward, but it's very slowly in Europe, because the negative campaigning still has 10 years. It's less in the brain for every stock, for every decision maker. Thank you.